What's up, everybody? This is Steve with Steve Snaketuary. We're here to dispel some myths today. Snakes and cucumbers. Do snakes smell like cucumbers? Let's talk about it for a little bit. Now, this is a copperhead. I don't want to hold it the whole time, so I'm going to put it up. Give me just 1 second to put it in this container, and we'll come back and talk about it. Okay, now listen, I get this question asked every summer. I get this question asked. Do people find snakes in their yard? And there's a lot of myths out there. There's a lot of wives' tales out there, and there's some miscommunication. So, and the other thing, I get upset a lot. I've done a lot of news interviews about this, and I get upset because sometimes the news interviews, they cut off part of my interview. They cut things out of the interview. They don't give me time to explain everything all the way. And then even when I post stuff on social media, I have a lot of other people, even herpetologists, other snake people, that comment on my thing and tell me I'm wrong. And it's just because I think there's some misunderstanding. So I really want to talk about snakes and cucumbers. Do snakes smell like cucumbers? Okay, so first of all, snakes can and do give off a musk. Sometimes when they get scared or they get frightened, listen, snakes don't have arms and legs like we do. They don't have a voice to speak to us. So they do things as a defense to try to scare us off. Now, just like skunks, snakes will give off a musk to try to scare off their predators. One reason they do that is because some animals do not eat dead animals. They won't eat an animal if it's dead. And so sometimes snakes give off a musk to try to smell like they're dead, to try to scare off their predators, kind of like skunks. Now, they don't always do that, okay? But they do that if they feel threatened, if they feel cornered, they feel like they can't get away. A lot of times when I go, I've been out on people's property, on deer leases, and out in the woods, and if I'm around water, I can smell, I know what it smells like. I can tell you if there's a water moccasin or some type of snake around, because like I said, they do give off a musk to scare off their predators. That doesn't mean if you always smell that, or if you smell a cucumber, that means that there's a snake around. That doesn't necessarily mean that. I've been around plenty of water, and I've caught hundreds and thousands of snakes, and they don't always musk. But copperheads aren't the only ones that do that. Water moccasins aren't the only ones that do that. The water snakes, the non-venomous water snakes that we have here in Louisiana, we have the bandeds, the yellow bellies or plain bellies, and the diamondbacks. They give off a musk. The rat snakes that I catch, they give off a musk. They do that to try to scare me off because they don't know what I am, and they're trying to scare me. They're trying to get me to drop it and leave it alone. So they don't always give off a musk, but they do if they feel threatened. They do that as a defense. Now, does it smell like cucumbers? Not to me, it doesn't. Now, just like each person tastes differently, some foods taste good to you that might not taste good to me. It's the same thing with our smells. Some things smell differently to other people. There's certain colognes or perfumes that I don't like that other people like. And so some people may think it smells like a cucumber. I've even heard watermelon. It does not smell like that to me. I don't think it smells like cucumber or watermelon at all, but some people might think that. And so I think that's where the twisting and the miscommunication comes from, because for one person, they may have been around a copperhead or a water moccasin, and to them it smelled like a cucumber. And so when one thing gets passed down, it's like all these other wives' tales and myths and things with snakes, because one person has an experience with it and it gets passed on to all these other people. And that's one thing we try to do at Steve Snaketuary, is educate you and give you the correct information. So if you smell cucumbers, does that mean there's a snake around? No, that does not mean that. Okay, if you smell other certain things, that doesn't necessarily mean that there is a snake around. But snakes can and will give off a musk if they feel threatened. But again, it doesn't smell like cucumbers to me. So I say, look, if your cucumber smells like snake, it's time to throw it out. But anyway, look, if you guys have questions or comments, please contact us here at Steve Snaketuary. You guys can easily find my email address and my website. On my website, you can find my phone number on my website. If you got any questions, you can call me, you can text me, you can email me. We are here for you. We want to give you the correct information. So if you've ever got any questions, and even if you see me in the news, they have cut out a lot of my information. They didn't post a full interview, or they didn't give me time to finish it. So even if you see me in the news, if you have a question about what I say, contact me, and I can clarify everything. Steve with Steve Snaketuary. We'll see you guys in a little bit.